So, Mum, this is a first, isn't it, Nads?
A first.
This is a first. Say, welcome to the No Name Sunday Show.
Welcome to the No Name Sunday Show.
She's kicking it off. And what are we going to first?
Dogs.
And what do we call that section?
Dogs.
Let the dogs out.
Who let the dogs out?
And then bark.
Oh, woof, woof.
Hey, we're off! We're off and running! Hey!
Let the dogs out.
So, Mum, it's the morning after dish. And there's the woman who cooks it. You're drinking from her mug.
That wasn't a plant.
That wasn't a plant. So, Mum, what's the dish of the day?
You haven't decided yet, have you?
We made it yesterday.
We made it yesterday. You tried it. What was it?
I don't know, but it's got cauliflower in it.
Oh, hey! Did you like it?
I liked it very much.
And were you surprised she did something with it?
Yes. Because
There you go. That's all you need to know.
it looked like it was nothing, and then will you stop getting that in my face? Yeah, and then there were cauliflower, and then there were lots of lovely smells coming. And I came out of the garden and I had bits of cauliflower, and it was delicious. I like cauliflower, but I liked it even more like this.
We should get her to do the link. She's good. I am not overly confident with the sole ingredients here.
Why?
A cauliflower and a pepper.
Yeah, I am doing something for our vegans and vegetarians today, but you definitely can do this with chicken instead.
That is it.
No, there's going to be a bit more than that, but you came here a bit early.
I'm not convinced.
Yeah, because I haven't got everything here yet, because what I want to do is get the peppers on the go, because I am going to be making a vegan dish that's really easy to change into a non-vegan dish. Because I often do meat dishes and I give you the vegan alternative. I thought I'd do it the other way
You
around.
don't look as great on this camera as you do on the main one.
I know, but there's something wrong with the other camera, so we're using the phone camera like we do on all the vlogs, same camera from the vlogs. So I'm going to make cauliflower popcorn, which you've probably, most of you have probably tried chicken popcorn. They do it at KFC, don't they?
Yeah, it's nice.
So I'm doing the vegan one of that. And
If
then,
you get me to enjoy this, I'll be flabbergasted.
yeah. And then with it, I am doing a roasted red pepper and tomato salad. This isn't up your strata, Mark. So if you've ever wondered how people do that lovely roasted pepper look, I'm going to show you. The very best way to do this is on a barbecue. But the second best way is not in the oven, it's on your gas ring like this. If you don't have gas, if you've got electric, just do the same thing. Oh God.
Can you use a lighter?
Yeah, if you want, take your day there. Do the same thing under the grill. What you're looking for is to get your peppers absolutely black. So we're going to have to leave that for a few minutes. We're going to have to come back to it, and I'm just going to keep timing it.
Meanwhile, I'm going to go over to something else that's infinitely more visual. Nanny Die,
Yes.
have you ever had burnt pepper?
Yes.
Ooh. Oh God, that reminds me of Morocco. Do you remember we had the pepper salad? Every starter, that smell when you walk into a Moroccan restaurant in Morocco.
Chi-Chi! What's going on? This is your eyes. What's going on, baby? What's going on? Are you alright? Are you alright? Are you alright? Oh, Chi-Chi, no one's seen your eyes in at least a month. Tommy, where is it? Tommy's looking for something. Chi-Chi's looking for something. Chi-Chi! Tommy! Tops. What's going on, Nads? This is a really weird sequence in the cooking film.
I know, I don't think you should be filming all of it.
What are you doing? Why are you doing this?
I'm doing other things.
You're not taking your job seriously.
I'm doing other things whilst waiting for the peppers to cook.
But this isn't how we do it on the Sunday show.
I know, but we're doing it differently today.
Toffee.
We have to do it.
It's not right. If you find any baby bells, chuck them my way. There's nothing nicer than a frozen...
Basil's gone frozen. I hate these fridges.
There's nothing better than a frozen baby bell at the back of the fridge. Did you know that?
Oh, have you got one?
No, but look! It's Nan's stash.
Okay.
Oh,
Come back.
it looks like a witch's nose.
Okay, I bet all the people that are really neat freaks are going, oh!
Of course they are.
No! The cooker! That's why I'm a better cook than a lot of people, because I don't mind it getting messy. I think that would be my big tip. Don't be frightened of the mess. Of the mess. Don't be frightened of the mess. It's so lovely. I'm wearing my favourite shirt. Mark! I'm wearing my favourite shirt again because it's
I
not
can't
too
see
hot.
anything.
So nice. Don't be frightened of the mess. Don't be frightened of the mess. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I love to sing. No, I don't think. Why can't you just sing? Because it brings you joy. This culture, our culture, disallows it.
Because it's
Everyone-
agonising for everyone else.
But not if you go with the person's joy.
Because it's torturous for those around you.
I think that's me.
Mark has got a point there.
I think that's me!
No, that's why I'm saying you should join the choir.
What, somewhere else?
Yeah, in another country.
In another establishment.
So you've added rice to the right. This is quite something, isn't it? This.
This is a veggie vegan dream. It's all healthy,
sound?
it's delicious, and don't forget, whatever I'm doing with this cauliflower, you can do with chicken, so it doesn't have to be vegetarian. Right, next stage.
Hang on a minute. We've passed a stage.
The peppers are really nice and blackened now.
That's the stage.
Yeah. So, well, you've now got charred peppers. What do you want? These in a jar cost you like £4.50. We just did it in 5 minutes. And they're also cooked now. So what I do is, some people put them in a plastic bag. I don't like that because I don't like the very hot peppers going into plastic. Something just makes me... I mean, you can use cling film or you can just put a plate over it because that helps to soften them further. So that's how you get a charred pepper. It costs you a fortune in a jar.
Why have you put it in there?
Because it's going to, the steam will soften down the pepper more and it makes the peeling of it very easy. Right, so let's get our tomatoes.
Down there for dancing.
Up there for thinking.
Down there for dancing, Mum. Up there for thinking. Down there for dancing. Up there for thinking. Down there for dancing.
Up there thinking, down there
dancing. Don't go back. Such sore fingers, but this is going to kill me.
For me to do it, why don't you film me doing it? Get me to do it.
So, like that. Like that.
Okay, it's quite boring, isn't it? I often find.
Don't go. Now, why do men always have to show off? You're going to try and be Jamie. You're going to try and go too fast.
No, I'm not.
Good.
I'm giving it some
Go.
welly. Would you like them in half first?
Be careful, Mark.
You're looking at me and cutting.
Ah!
Matter.
Ah!
Stop it. It's really annoying. Thank you.
Back in the game.
Just doing this. This is very rustico. We're just putting that on there with a little sea salt. As you know, this is my favourite. Cornish sea salt.
Cornish.
Love it. And what you do is I'm just putting that salt on to just release the juices of the tomato.
Can I say something?
leave
There's
it.
nothing nicer than a grain of salt that's gone red
Perfectly
from
on
tomato sauce.
I love it.
Do you know what I mean?
Love it. Love it!
This is a very different kind of show.
I know. Right, so now I'm going to cut my florets for my popcorn chicken.
Oh.
I tried to cut them earlier because I said it's boring, but no, he said don't cut them. I need to film everything, and now you're going to say it's boring.
No, you wouldn't have been able to say that if you'd already cut it, would you? That wasn't boring.
This is boring.
They look like popcorns.
Boring.
Do you know what popcorn looks like?
Like this.
No, they look like little chaotic thoughts.
They do.
Like that. That's
Chaotic
poetic.
thoughts.
Chaotic thoughts. Tomatoes, we've got burnt peppers, and we've got brain bits. Yay.
Okay, so we need to get our oil on. It's the same old, guys. You must heat your oil slowly, otherwise what, Mark?
You'll have to drink gin.
Why do you have to heat your oil slowly?
So it
Bring
doesn't
up.
get so hot that when you put stuff in, it goes bonkers.
Yeah, it burns.
Yeah.
So you just want to bring your
That's a lot of oil.
oil. I'm deep frying.
Oh, sorry.
You want to, you start being interested in this now, aren't you?
Yeah, suddenly. Suddenly very interested.
So come back in a minute.
Hi guys!
Right, so in here I have 95 grams of flour, 200 mils of milk. You can use whatever vegan milk you want, plant-based milk. If you're not vegan, just use normal milk.
They milk everything now, don't they? They milk nuts.
Everything.
They milk.
Right.
You've seen courgette milk?
Now at that stage, this will still work, but I'm actually going to add a couple
Well,
of eggs.
what do you mean work? At what?
Well, you don't need to add eggs, but I'm going to add eggs because if you're vegan, you would want eggs. That's what I mean.
But why would you not want an egg?
Because if you're vegan, you don't eat eggs.
Why? Can I ask that? Why don't vegans eat eggs?
Because they're animal.
But they're not.
Well, they could be a chicken.
They're not fertilised. No, they're not. They're not fertilised.
Darling, I don't want to.
It's like eating an ovum. It's like eating an ovum.
It's not my row. It's not my row.
It'd be like eating an ovum.
So, now if you've got flaxseed vegans, mix a tablespoon of flaxseed with 3 tablespoons of water and let it sit for 10 minutes, and that will give you the egg.
I've seen flaxseed
Thing.
vegans in Brixton.
Have you?
Yeah, they're funny looking.
Right, you could at this point add all sorts of things, spices, a bit of cumin, but because I'm doing a more sort of pesto salad, I don't want that kind of, I don't want a sort of Indian flavour to it.
This
So,
suddenly got interesting.
salt, lots of pepper.
I've got a feeling I'm going to be flabbergasted by this meal.
A little hot sauce, just a little flash of hot sauce, and
Are
then
you being saucy?
a little flash of hot sauce.
She's being saucy.
A little flash of hot sauce.
Give us a flash of your hot sauce.
A little flash of hot sauce.
What's that?
A little flash of hot
Who's that?
sauce. A little flash of hot sauce.
Someone's vibrating.
Technically speaking, one wouldn't put flat hot sauce with basil, but I like a little hot sauce. It gives a little bite to it. And whisk. My oil is almost there, so in a second we will be dipping and frying.
Dipping and frying?
Mark, can you move all of this that arrived?
It's Nanny Die's. Mum, can you move all this, please? All this? All your stuff. You're wrecking the set, man.
Sorry, I am on that.
Yeah, all your crisps and everything.
Right, you guys.
Just move it all.
You, Steven Spielberg was.
Okay.
Be gone.
That's not mine.
So we've got a little hot sauce. I'm going to give a good shake of garlic powder. Make it nice and tasty. I'm going to give a good shake of dried basil. Don't have to, you can use whatever you want.
Are you trying to get into every shot?
You put your hand sort of here, feel how hot it feels. And if you look at your oil and see if it's shimmering, that's the kind of heat you want. I'm going to drop a little bit of egg in. Yeah, that's all. So I'm going to drop my cauliflower into my batter. Obviously, this is a lot more batter. I don't want to make loads because I know this lot won't eat it. Thicker batter, if you want more, a thicker batter on it, just add a bit more flour. That was 100 grams with 200 grams or 200 mils of milk. Make it 150 if you like a thicker batter. I like a light batter. Just increase the flour a bit. Oh, doesn't that look lovely? Now I like my vegetables with a little bit of crisp in them, but if you don't, you could steam the cauliflower before and then make sure it's dry. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to let that cook away for a minute. See how you don't want it bubbling any more than that because you want it to cook in the middle and be nice and crisp on the outside. That's really nice and crisp. Even Mark said just then, guys, you missed it. Actually, that smells really nice, do you?
I know, it's making me hungry, all of it.
Look how nice it all comes off now. If we'd done that straight off the...
You'd burn your fingers.
Yeah, off the fire, it wouldn't have peeled off like that. It was that steaming of it for a few minutes. I always like to leave a little bit of the charring on. Now, some people don't like that, but I love it.
Walking from the
Doesn't
garden
it?
by this. Excuse me, by the
You wouldn't think, like you say, you look at all these ingredients, you'd go, ew. Right, so we've got our tomatoes. What did we do with the tomatoes, Mark?
Put salt on them.
That's all we did. Just. Okay, so we have our cauliflower, we have our roasted pepper and gorgeous tomatoes. And now we're going to make a little salad dressing. A teaspoon of pesto, 2 teaspoons of, I'm using white balsamic vinegar, which is really nice. But if you don't have that, just do normal vinegar, a couple of teaspoons of normal vinegar with either a spoonful of, half a spoonful of honey or a pinch of sugar. Just want that bit of sweetness.
And that's what, olive oil is it?
And then that's olive oil. So I'm going to add a little rice. I love these bags of rice.
So what's happened with those? Have you cooked them?
Are you joking? What? This?
Look at that.
No, it's a bag of rice. I've just opened it. Comes cooked.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Are you?
Why were you so outraged?
I thought you meant the peppers. I thought you were losing your mind.
You've always said that cold rice is dangerous and can kill you. You just bought it out of a packet.
Oh my God, I can't believe how many times I've told you the same thing. It's not cold rice that comes out of the packet, it's rice that you don't heat up properly that will kill you. I'm just throwing that in. Now you could use some cold pasta, some cold noodles. Obviously, I'm just making this for one, but I'm assuming always that people are making it for 4 or 6. Don't forget, any dressing you have left over can go into the fridge for at least a week.
Oh, that's nice. So you're now putting it on here.
Yeah. Doesn't that look nice? You can, of course, do this cauliflower popcorn with a big pile of chips and have it more like a junk food. But I think this is really nice like this. And now I'm just going to put a little of the dressing, just teeny. You don't want it super fatty. I'm trying to just get the pesto from it. Oh, just 1 second. A few pine nuts on the salad. There you go.
Oh, it's amazing.
Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. What do you reckon?
Looks delicious.
I'm going to try it. I'm going to eat it, make you jealous, don't forget. Hey, so if you're doing that with chicken, make sure you cut the chicken really small so you're not getting raw chicken in the middle. Make sure to cut it open and check before you eat it. Oh my God. That is so good. Mark, you've got to try it.
Put me on that too.
Have a bit of everything. My glasses, Mark. Don't, because we haven't done the pictures yet. Don't ruin it.
As a non-vegan, you can almost forget that that's vegan.
It's lovely, isn't
It's
it?
really tasty. It's really nice, and the peppers are. I hate peppers, and I love those peppers.
Do you like that salad dressing?
Really like the salad dressing. It's really tasty. Really
Oh, where are we going now?
good. Over there. So, without wishing to go on about it, it looks like this Sunday show is all about Nanny Die. Nanny Die is appearing in virtually every section. She might even be cooking a dish later in the show.
Sorry about this.
Freaking hope not.
Do we have to show how messy everywhere is?
Yep, that's because we're an authentic, real YouTube family that smells.
Actually, we do smell.
We do smell. You smell, Mum. You smell of strange things.
Why we never got any chocolate?
You smell of a lost era of strange excess, Mum.
No, we didn't get chocolate delivered.
You smell of the copper smell of heroin. Have you ever injected heroin into your eyeball, Mum?
Heroin into your something or other.
Did you put heroin in my bottled feed when I was a baby?
Mark, stop it now.
Whiskey?
What's that?
You put whiskey in.
Well, because a friend of mine, father was a doctor.
She put whiskey
And
in my...
you wouldn't stop crying, and he said, just put a drop of whiskey
No
into
wonder
the
I'm an
bottle.
alcoholic.
Well, I didn't know.
Oh, God. Well, do you know what you're doing now, Mum?
Yeah,
What?
memes. The kids' funny stuff.
Teens funny stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's this guy and he basically edits his head onto videos of other people's bodies, so it looks like his head is their body, but he does really accurate like impersonations of people at the till when you go to the like Tesco's and they're scanning all your items. Just look at it.
Oh yes, that's exactly what they're like. That's really good.
So good, isn't
I
it?
found it so funny. It's the way you say
God blimey, is that how they all come up all in
no,
there?
this is just TikTok. This is just TikTok.
Oh,
This
okay.
is a really cute monkey that I'm obsessed with.
Oh, you showed it in another. Did you show it last time?
Tiki did.
You said it looked like me.
He's trying to get it on as well. How cute is it? Look at him.
Oh, it's so cute. I thought that before, but it's so sweet.
Do your eyes like him?
cute.
It kept looking at the camera before.
Do the
you
eyes
remember?
like him?
This video's So wait, so it's like that's 2018. 2019. And then this is 2020. Oh, it's covered. Oh, jokes. Me looking at videos from last night's party and hearing my voice. She looks horrified. Horrified. Me and my local Nando's knowing that they're not doing the 50% off
Good morning.
discount.
How much is this?
2.15, please.
I got 50. Fuck you, bastard.
That's not. Good morning.
How much is this?
2.15, please.
I got 50. Fuck you, bastard.
That's not. Good morning.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
That made me laugh so much. It smells like orange, the person behind me.
Don't get it.
Because whenever somebody goes, it smells like orange, usually behind you someone's peeling like this gigantic orange.
Oh,
and
I
it's just
see.
They've over-exaggerated it.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, I get that, but I don't find it funny. It's not interesting.
When you book holidays to Spain and the new quarantine rules get released.
It's funny, it's me.
What are you doing?
Tomatoes come to see.
Tomato. I've done that. There's this guy that did Gordon Ramsay as a child.
Ah, scrape my knee.
Oh, honey, you want me to kiss it and make it better?
I'm not a fucking buffoon. Get me a bandage for fuck's sake. Yeah, kiss it. Kiss my ass while you're down there. Fuck off. Me fuck off? You fuck off. Me fuck off? Both of you fuck off. Okay, go back. Keep going. Keep going. Yeah, go all the way home, because I'm not playing your stupid game.
Oh,
Waste of
it's
time.
brilliant. He's like you.
I'm not gonna kiss Nancy. She's a fat pig. Is that why the bottle's empty? She drank it. Oh.
Do you think you have a fever?
No, I think it's just the rubbish you gave us at dinner. Did you even season it? Can we play Truth or Dare next? What's a dare to me? Can we get it? No, put it back. I hate you. Wanker.
Wanker.
It's absolutely you, Mark.
Me shading my dementia patient. Right. Beating her up for no reason.
Oh my
Because
god.
we get so angry.
Do you understand them all?
Yeah, mostly.
Who are
All
you?
of them.
What's your name?
Shut up.
Quick fire.
Nanny Die.
Nanny Die.
Nanny Die.
Nanny Die.
What's the next part of the show, Mum? You know the show intimately. You do. You know it better than Nadia does. So what comes after the munch brunch?
Papers.
We've just done the memes. Oh, what's that?
Papers.
What's your favourite newspaper?
Observer.
Is it?
Yes.
But I think all newspapers are a bit shit
Did
these
you
days.
see the way she,
Yeah.
did you see the way she did a posh Hyacinth bouquet
Yes.
voice? She went,
What did you
The
say?
Observer.
The Observer.
When you
Say-
watch that back dive, watch for how you changed your accent.
Hold on, I'm going to say the Observer.
No,
The
just
Observer.
say it in your normal accent.
Observer!
Thanks, Nanny Die. Finally got us into the papers there. Welcome to the papers. To the
Welcome.
headlines. Yeah, we've been
Welcome.
sifting through them.
And before anyone asks, yes, these are the same as my blue ones that everybody love. I've got them in every colour now, and it is from Winchmore Hill.
Me
on
Winchmore.
Me
Winchmore.
Winchmore Hill.
Yeah,
Instagram.
there you go. They are very, very nice. The news is odd, isn't it? I mean, it's massively populated by lots of upset and anger and frustration with the exams, A-level results.
Which makes a bloody nice change from COVID.
It does make a nice change.
How
My heart
awful it
does
is.
go out to all of the students,
Oh,
though.
so does and the parents. Can you imagine the dramas in households?
But one of the stories I pulled just kind of quickly, just on the front of the Times, is the story that you've been going on and Professor Carl Sikora has been banging on about for ages, which is that 250,000 people who would normally be sent for urgent cancer checks have missed out. And I just think when you start to look at the numbers, the staggering numbers, and I want to connect these two things, because what seems to have happened in coronavirus is people who were already very virtue signally have become more virtue signally. So, you know, people have become more extended versions of what they were. And there's an enormous amount of virtue signaling around anyone who questions the legitimacy of our overwhelming approach to COVID. So, you know, if you say for a minute on social media or anywhere, but look, let's put it in context. The numbers are less. People are like, you're not getting it. You're not taking it seriously. You're somehow
Why does everything have to be so binary?
Exactly,
It's
so
like
binary and
this
so
or
furious.
this.
Yeah.
It's a whole load of things
Yeah.
that we have to take into account and keep talking about.
So part of me wonders, at what point would people stop this binary approach? And then I thought, 250,000 missed cancer checks. Does that change anyone's perspective? 250,000? Infinitely more than the number of people who've died of COVID.
Prof.
in this country.
said the NHS will not be able to survive this. So there's different ways to save the NHS.
Yeah.
You've got to think ahead as well as
Yeah.
in the moment while you're firefighting.
And I think it's the smarter thinkers who are not just looking down at the crisis now as it tails off and becomes virtually a dribble, although we have to all stay mindful and aware
Prepare for
and
the worst,
vigilant and
hope
prepare
for
for
the
the worst, etc. If we don't look to all the other problems, I promise you, in another 9 months, we'll all be going, why weren't we thinking about this?
I know.
Because we are so short-sighted.
And the thing that he gets attacked for that, Professor, he's just saying, let's just think about the cancer patients as well.
Yeah.
Mark, I thought this might appeal to you for the next time you go for a run. Maybe you would like what Nicole Kidman has, which is a golf buggy to pick her up when she's run out of puff. So
You're
she goes for a run
joking.
and she's got a golf buggy running along with her all the way. Yeah, for a ride back to town.
Why doesn't she just run far enough to have to turn around and come back?
I was looking at this and I was thinking,
bit
I
odd.
wonder if
So
this is just security.
Yeah, it must be.
It's probably just her security.
That's once again
But
one of
I
those
do
stories
love
where
a
the
headline.
photo looks like showbiz, but actually it probably is security.
But you still do wonder why she didn't run back.
Yeah, well, exactly. And then the buggy follow her. I mean, is that
We
real?
love Nicole Kidman. She is
Oh, we
a
do.
brilliant actress.
Yeah, I'd quite
and
like a
damn
buggy.
fine woman, I hear.
Yeah. This is a story that I thought would really get you going, you and your sister. You love a medical story. Radio 3 star brought out of 17-day coma by listening to Bark and Funk.
Oh my God.
I just think
What happened
I
to
think there's a
her?
sort of serendipity here.
What a
That,
beautiful
well,
girl.
she suffered from something that's a condition that strikes without warning. It's called arteriovenous malformation, an abnormal tangle of blood vessels connecting arteries and veins, which will disrupt normal blood flow. And she entered a coma. But from that coma, I just think it's odd that she's a Radio 3 star, and on Radio 3, obviously very famous for classical music. And it was classical music, Bark, that led to her starting to tap her foot. There's just something very, very, I thought, very beautiful about
Beautiful.
that. Yeah, absolutely.
Serendipitous.
Serendipitous, and the power of the things that we're passionate about can do more than just be something we listen to. It could be something that brings you back to consciousness.
Well, she could have had an itchy foot that was driving her batshit
She
crazy.
might have been trying to say with her foot that she hates fucking
Turn
Bark.
the fucking bark off.
Yeah.
I have to listen to that all day at
Yeah,
work.
absolutely, yeah.
Hallelujah for Halle Berry. I just
Oh.
thought I'd do this. 54. Look at
Oh,
that
wow.
body. She's skateboarding. She says life just gets better
She
because she
posted-
just gets more beautiful.
Yeah, she posted an image of herself now getting out of the sea versus an image of her in Bond getting out of the sea, and I was hard pushed to tell the difference.
She does put a lot of work in, grueling fitness regime that she actually does post on Instagram for people to join in for free. Of course, some of you may have heard this story and some of you may not. Years ago, I did a movie with Halle Berry, and all the time she was in the gym, I was by the pool drinking pina coladas. And then one
So
day
nothing's changed.
And then one day she came out, not in a bitchy way at all, in a kind way. I really liked her. She said, you know, it's a real shame you don't work out because you can have a beautiful body. And I went, I know, Halle, I know.
Do you think she ever pigs out on KFC?
No, she's diabetic. She's type,
Oh.
type
Oh,
1
right.
diabetic. So she's been on insulin like all her
Wow.
life.
Wow.
So she's very careful about what she eats and about her health.
Wow,
But,
okay.
yeah, there you go.
I just wanted to sort of run this story past everyone because this is the kind of thing I think I'd do if you were attacked by a shark. A surfer rains punches on great white shark to save wife's life. I mean, he's going to be your hero for life,
Oh my
isn't he?
God. Punch the shark,
A
baby.
surfer rescued his wife from the jaws of a great white by beating the predator with his fists until it released her.
They do say that,
Yeah,
don't they,
you
to
punch
beat
them on their nose. I think it's to do with their sonar radar type thing. It really messes with
But
them.
how
Yeah.
effing brave is that?
So Chantal-
She's got to do everything he wants for the rest of her
Oh,
life.
you're absolutely right. And she let out a piercing scream in New South Wales, Australia, and rapidly paddled over with on his surfboard, leapt onto the back of the shark.
No!
Yeah, which was nearly 10 foot long, and unleashed a series of punches. It was unbelievable, said an eyewitness. The scream was incredible and there was splashing everywhere. The shark would have been so strong. He was incredible. He's a hero.
That is a proper goddamn hero. Can you keep that for me? I want to do that on Loose
Can you
Women.
imagine?
Do any of us think our husband would?
Would our husband?
I couldn't jump on a
If
shark.
I saw you being eaten, I would. I don't know whether I'd have the police.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ. I wonder what the fuck was happening there. I thought
Yeah,
there's
go
no
on.
shark. I wouldn't necessarily know that punching would have done something. I'd have probably just thrown myself at it as bait. You know what I mean? I'd say, eat me!
So this is an article in the Mail of a very, she's very proud of herself, this journalist, very proud of herself, because she believes that she did an article a while ago, Katie Hind, saying how appalling representation was of ethnic minorities, of diversity in general on ITV, and she's now showing the difference 10 months on.
Right.
I would really like to see the level of diversity on the Mail on Sunday. I would like them to publish that.
Oh, that's a challenge.
I'm actually enormously proud of... I mean, ITV have admitted that they want to do more for diversity, for sure, and they're working really hard at that. And I think you can see that really clearly. I just want to talk about my show, our show.
I think you should post that on your social media and ask the question of Daily Mail.
Yeah, I just want to say for our show, I think we are brilliantly diverse because we have panelists that are in their 80s, okay? So we cover age
Ageism.
diversity. We have people that are all different sizes and shapes. How many programs on television do that? Your size does not matter on Loose Women.
No.
You can be whoever you want to be. We have Afro-Caribbean women. We have me from Jordanian descent, very proud to be mixed heritage. We have Pakistani women, and we have a good mixture of that. And we've had that before this woman wrote her article, and still we are improving all the time. We had a new panelist, Charlene White, this week, who was an anchor, and she was brilliant.
That's
and we
simply
loved her.
not true. October the 8th, 2019, ITV didn't have one non-white presenter.
No, but she
That's not
chose
true.
a day when there was nobody on Loose Women, and I just think, let's just have a little look behind the
That's
scenes
like
at the
going-
Mail on the
Mail on Sunday. And also, it would be like going on a bus and making an assumption on the sort of
On that day.
diversity of the local population based on the only people on that bus that day.
You have to look at it over a week.
Lunacy
And
and
I'm really-
poor journalism.
I'm really proud of Loose Women. I think
Yeah.
we do a damn good job at it.
Right.
So there you go, put that in part.
Well, I thought I'd bring you some story about Brooklyn's mega wed plans, because you keep bringing it up. So I thought, no, I'm going to bring it up. But you know, old Beckham's called Golden Balls. I just like this headline.
David, not Brooklyn.
David Beckham, that's what I said, yeah. Is Golden Paws.
Oh, I love it.
Do you
That's
like
made
it?
for you.
Made for me. Pair looking at St. Paul's Cathedral. We're talking like royalty here.
Well, I have got...
You've been saying this all along. This is going to be the royal wedding of the year.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. I'm going to be so excited. We're going
Royalty-
to cover it like
Will
a royal
royalty
wedding.
be there?
Oh, yeah. Well, they were at Harry's
Can I make a
and
suggestion?
Williams.
Can I make a suggestion? Can we get Michelle to help us set up with two proper sports reporter microphones?
Yeah, I want to do it.
And we'll do a running
Let's do
commentary.
it. Let's do
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Well, on the Beckhams still, I've got one you're going to love.
All right.
Brand Beckham could be going from golden balls to glitter balls as David Beckham's son Brooklyn has been approached to appear on Strictly Come Dancing.
He's not the one getting married. Oh, he is the one getting married.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
That's what I mean.
Do you think he actively does the sultry look like in Zoolander?
I think he's just grown up.
Used to looking like that?
No, it's whatever your parents do. It goes in by osmosis. So he, more than most, have seen how to get a good job.
Hollywood. We keep hearing about the catastrophe. From me, you do. Film production, film exhibition. Obviously, everywhere is under duress in the world due to COVID. California has really been struggling. Now, Hollywood this is Hollywood Apocalypse in the Daily Mail. And, it's just saying that it's a report on how the rich and famous are fleeing in their droves as liberal politics and the virus have turned the city of dreams into a cesspit plagued by junkies and violent criminals. Now, the language used there...
What about people that are just
liberal
destitute?
politics.
No, but also, what
junkies
about
and
these
violent
people
criminals?
that are just destitute
absolutely.
because their president has fucked up
Absolutely.
the world for
And I
all
just
of
thought,
us?
yeah, again, this is the Mail on Sunday showing photos of people living in squalor
That we don't
and
know
using
what they are.
terms junkies and violent criminals.
Disgusting.
I think it's outrageous.
Outrageous. What
Now-
about if they're people that have fallen on a terribly hard time due to a global pandemic?
Exactly. Affluent folks are getting out. So they're trying to
it's
construct the idea that, you know, the rich and famous and celebrities. I think Caroline Graham should be embarrassed of that headline. The neighbourhood of Hollywood has always been a very down at heel neighbourhood, actually. And there are districts, like in every city, of great poverty. Do you remember when we saw the soup kitchens downtown?
Anywhere in London is like that.
Yeah,
as
Venice
well.
Beach is a very sort of, you know, rich and poor. You know, you've got the rich have got houses there.
Shame on you,
But what a
Caroline.
Caroline Graham.
Let's hope that life never becomes difficult for you and you find yourself
As
in a situation.
liberal politics. Get rid of yourself. Get rid of yourself, Mail on Sunday.
At last, women get eyebrow treatment 6 weeks after ban lifted for men.
What?
You could have it done in a barber's, but you couldn't have it done.
I need eyebrow treatment.
You really do.
I do.
You couldn't have it done in a salon. Quite clearly, barking mad.
Many years ago, was shooting was wanting to make a film called The Half, which is about what actors do in the half hour before they go on stage. It's explained to the uninitiated. The half is a very symbolic moment, isn't it, in theatre?
Yeah.
Because you get
It's where you gather yourself.
Yeah.
It's where you might have last thoughts. And everybody has a real routine on what they do in the
sort of
half.
ritual.
And interestingly, Mark found this out, and I loved this. That Vanessa Redgrave is still looking at her script, not to learn her lines, but still looking for what she might have missed in the words. And I loved that.
We did film with Papa Essiedu, and we have got that footage somewhere. But anyway, it's a great idea, and this has made me want to revisit this as an idea, as a short documentary, because Simon Anand, who's done a book called The Half, has got published yet more photos of actors in those very sort of, you know, unseen moments, unseen minutes before going on stage. And I have to say, for the half an hour I filmed Papa Essiedu, who was in I May Destroy You recently, you'll know him from. When I filmed him, he was performing Hamlet at the RSC. And that half hour was an incredibly interesting and adrenalised half an hour. Just prior to, I might do actually. It's a very.
Do you know what? That's a really good book to get somebody for Christmas
it's
that's
beautiful.
into theatre,
Into
because we got
theatre.
the first one.
Yeah.
We'll be
Lee
buying
would like
that.
that. Lee would like that.
I once did a film years ago with Ewan McGregor, so I know him a little bit. And he has his divorce has come through. I met his wife a couple of times, so a lovely woman. He was so in love with her. They have these beautiful children, but you know, he had to have an affair. Awful for her, because I think she had possibly put up with a fair amount before that. But
is he sober? I thought he would.
he's sober, yeah. He's an AAer, isn't he? But he's got to hand over everything. Half his Star Wars fortune. He's got to give her the £5 million.
Was this only just come through?
Yeah, they've just done the settlement. 5 of his beloved cars. 5 of his cars.
Bloody hell.
He's got 34.
Is that all?
34 cars. She'll also get around £12,000 a month child support and £30,000 of spousal payments, as well as some of the royalties he will have got on Angels and Demons, The Men in Stoic Goats, and Moulin Rouge.
I see Harry Enfield's also split,
Yeah,
and that's
and
going
they
to
say
cost
it's
him
going to cost
loads of money.
Be wise, guys. If you don't really like the person you're with, just live with them. Don't marry them.
I love this story, and it's my last one. Looks like Yoda, Alan does. Oh, a bit of a Star Wars connection with Ewan being Obi-Wan. Looks like Yoda, Alan does. So, Alan Carr has gone on social media. I think this is very true, because I thought about this morning as Nanny Die left with her mask on. He feels that he's worried, and he feels that his mask is giving him Yoda ears. It's pulling his ears down. And there's a fear that this wearing of masks is going to change the shape and hang of our ears. I'm worried that our ears are going to get bigger and lower and more low slung. But I love the fact that he thinks it's making him look like Yoda.
J-Lo's, this is the way to move, girls. So J-Lo has moved house. Look at that place, Mark.
Wow.
Look at it.
Wow.
So she's taken the stress out of moving home by meditating on a beach with a pal, as Vans unloaded her new £30 million, not dollar, Florida mansion.
That's about $50 million.
She was thousands of miles away on a beach on New York's Long Island. and she didn't, it says here, I bet she didn't have to worry about how the sofa would fit through the front door.
She's doing a very good job of branding herself as quite a serious actress.
She did kind of disappear,
Yeah,
didn't she?
yeah.
And she's so unbelievably talented.
Yeah.
And so extraordinarily beautiful. Who was I talking to that interviews loads of famous people? And they were saying to me that probably the person that knocked them to the floor where they couldn't stand up again was Jennifer Lopez.
In what way?
Take her beauty and multiply it by 100,
Oh, I see.
like in real
I
life.
thought you meant she walked in and hit
No,
her.
she's so much more beautiful than she is even on screen.
I have to say, I've got a bit of a crush on her.
But she's also smart. Let's
Yeah.
not always say
No, no,
she's
no.
big.
Well,
She's-
yeah.
But she's a movie star, and you have to say that.
And she's a fine
But she's
actress.
very smart, she's funny, and she's a fine actress, and she came from the most humble of beginnings. So,
And I've
Jenny
seen
from the
her
block.
dance, Jenny. I've seen her dance with a pole in that film she was in recently, the name of which escapes me.
Because you just think...
Hustlers, was it, or something like that? Yeah, thanks, Maddie. our film buff in the corner
I
there.
love
Yeah.
her. I love
I thought she
Maddie.
was amazing in Hustlers, actually. She really was amazing. There was talk of her being nominated for an Academy Award, and I think she's going to be nominated for one this year.
Bye! Time for...
I don't know, Nan's going to tell
Nan's
us.
done it.
Who let the dogs out?
It's the munch brunch. What did we make for the munch brunch? Oh, you're still drinking from the same cup. Is that a Horlicks?
It's Horlicks.
I think you'd run out.
Only a tiny bit. Maddie and I are fighting for the last bit.
All right. Okay. So what did we do? What did Nadia make for the munch brunch? Do you remember what she made yesterday? Come on, guess. Hey,
Not banoffee pie.
a what pie?
A salted pie with cream on it and salted bananas.
Did you like
And I'm
it?
here.
Did you eat it?
I did have a bit in the end. I was so starving at midnight.
Oh, you did have a midnight feast.
Yeah,
Was it
cream,
worth it? Cream?
bananas,
Yeah.
pastry.
Yeah.
Could it be banoffee pie?
Could be banoffee.
Banoffee pie,
Banoffee pie. Banoffee. Banoffee. Banoffee pie.
Was it banoffee pie?
Banoffee pie. Yeah.
Banoffee pie.
You say banoffee. I say.
banoffee.
You say banoffee.
I say banoffee.
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 Let's just eat the lot.
So, oh God, no, wait a minute.
Oh, that was odd. Take two.
Before I tell you about my pudding, I want to show you this book. I bought this book the other day.
Is this the one you
I
were sick
saw
on?
it on, you know, it's that one. I saw it on Joe Wick's Instagram, and it is such a good book. These are the two guys, the happy pair. They're the healthiest looking people ever. And they're just the most gorgeous recipes, because I know we've got quite a few vegans. And they've got this really good, so you've got like your fixed recipes, and I've never seen this in a recipe book before, and I love it. So they've got your basics, like a recipe, and then the different ways you might want it. So noodles, whether you want it Thai, Japanese, sesame and ginger, Thai coconut, and then so it will give... Oh, you just won't ever let me talk about cookery books. Just because you talk about cookery books doesn't mean other people don't like cookery books.
Oh, I'm back. I'm back in the room.
Good, I'm sure everyone's really over the moon.
Sorry, go on.
So for instance, okay, so like look, desserts here. So if you wanted to use a different kind of fat, it will tell you exactly how much you use. Because I know loads of people have got a different kind of sweetener, how much you would use. It's just a really, really helpful book for people that are trying to learn how to cook. And the recipes are all delicious, all 100% vegan. Oh, like, so look at this. Do you want a chewy chocolate chip cookie, a biscuity, shortbread style, or chewy chocolate? And it will show you, so if you're making shortbread and you were vegan, instead of an egg, you'd use flaxseed. You wouldn't use any flour, because you're using shortbread. But if you wanted this kind of a biscuit, you would. Do you see what I mean? Does it make any sense? No. Because you're not interested.
I am interested, but it's not interesting.
Well, it's interesting for people that like cookery books, of which there are many. It's one. I tell you, it's one thing. Top of the list every single week of books sold is cookery books
No, I
above
know that.
anything else.
I know that.
So I'm gonna every week I'm gonna show someone a cookery book I like.
But I thought we were doing a dish. I didn't think we were doing a cookery
No,
book
we are
section.
doing a dish, but before I start the dish, I'm showing you chips. So look, Shows you all the different way you can do chips. This is a real. I bought this book. This isn't an ad. This is, and I just got excited by it because I knew a lot of the subs would love it. Look at that, the very basics of how to make a beautiful salad. I just think it's a great book. And you know what? A lot of work has gone into that book, over 200 recipes. But anyway, onto the recipe. Got my oven at 200 degrees, and I am
That's
going to
quite
show
cheap.
you
I got mine
guys
for about 300 last week.
how to make practically a store cupboard banoffee pie really quick. Like you haven't done your dessert, everyone wants dessert, or it's late at night, everyone's going, Mom, can I have something sweet? I always have a roll of puff pastry in my fridge or in the freezer. Always have it, it's great. You can quickly make a chicken pie, you can quickly make jam tart, you can quickly make a banoffee pie.
They look like sea scrolls.
Yeah, make sure you get the pastry out about 15 minutes before you're wanting to unroll it. Oh, look, even then it could have been left out. Oh, because it cracks. Oh, it's been out for quite a while. It shouldn't be doing that. Oh, that's why.
Should I look away?
Because it's too cold.
I'm looking
You
away.
want to get it in the oven.
Do we to look away?
That's all right. You don't have to look away. They know what I'm like. So it's a bit cracked. But let's turn it over so we don't see it. Cook's tricks.
Cook's tits.
Tricks. I might take that bit off so it doesn't all fall at the end. I can just make a little jam tart.
I'm really struggling. I'm sorry. I'm having a moment over
So, take a sharp knife. Don't cut all the way through, but you want to do a border.
Oh, like a frame.
Yeah.
Oh, this is like art. This
Not
is like you're
all-
going to do a map with an X.
Not all the way through.
This
Okay?
is like a pirate's
Oh, has
map.
anybody tried Dina's art box yet? She said to me that there'll be a long-standing, just for family guests, 20% off on our art box.
That's good.
You're the only people apart from friends of hers that get 20% off.
Oh,
So there you go. So now we're going to just, within the border, just prick all over with a fork. Can you guess why we do that?
stop it. Bubbles.
Stop it.
Bubbling
No.
up.
What do you mean bubbling?
Well, to stop when you pull it out, it stays flat.
Yeah, to stop the puff.
Yeah, to stop it bubbling.
Stop the puff. Well, bubbling isn't really.
Just because you want to say stop the puff, stop the
puff.
bubbling. You just hate it when I get it right, don't you? You just make out I'm wrong.
An egg.
I thought this was vegan.
You don't have to use the egg. I was just about to say.
Yeah, because I've just discovered today that an egg is
I never
vegan.
said this is vegan.
You just showed a vegan
But
book.
I'm saying that separately. This is
That's
not
a
vegan.
bun steer.
No, this is not vegan. Well,
Maddie's
you were
doing
asleep, so
vegan.
you're not included.
Bananas are not vegan. Do you know that? Did you know bananas aren't vegan?
they're not.
Do you know why? Because they're picked by chickens.
Okay, so a bit of egg. If you are vegan, you can just do it with a bit of plant-based milk. And just go round the border. Round the border. Run for the border.
Why do you always go Scottish with border?
I didn't. That was me being Czechoslovakian.
Oh, right.
You don't really want to get it on the...
The edge.
Yeah, because it will stop it. Because we want this to be flat and the edge to puff up a bit.
It's going to be like a framed work of art.
Wow. Framed banoffee.
Right, is
And
that it?
into the oven. You don't need to do the middle bit with egg.
Jesus Christ.
Christ, what's in there?
God, it's the anus of Satan.
More! So that's going in for about 20 minutes. Oh, that's ready. Nice and golden. Now just go let that cool down. Yum. I could just eat that whole pastry now, couldn't you? I could just go, We are just about to finish off our banoffee. Are you feeling banoffee?
Sure you haven't made this before?
Not for this
For the show? I feel like I've seen this rectangle of pastry before.
Well, I've made it before, but I haven't made it for Sunday show. Because they usually make things more complicated for the Sunday show. Should we have a look at it? So I've just put in there into the microwave
Yeah.
some salted caramel.
Right.
Really easy to buy. There's all different kinds of makes that make them, and it just makes it really another thing to really good to have in your store cupboard, because you can just tart something up easy. So double cream, come over here. Teaspoon of vanilla extract. Start it off slow. Be careful when you're whisking cream, because it curdles so easily. It's such a pain when it does. It's not nice. See now how you can see it's thickening. That's when you want to reduce your speed down a bit, because in a minute it will curdle. Oh, there you go, see what? If I'd gone 2 more times with those whisks, it would have been too hard.
Very fine art then.
So.
A lot of people don't like bananas.
Yeah, I'm not mad on bananas. Bananas aren't my favourite thing. I mean, you guys know how much I love peanut butter. I would love, because I was thinking, when I was thinking what to do today, I was thinking, oh God, you could spread peanut butter or pour melted peanut butter. But as soon as I do that, none of this lot will eat it. It's not about having them on every bit, but try and keep the border. The border. This isn't going to be all of it, because we're going to put it on the top as well. So there's our banoffee. Banana and our toffee. Do you know banoffee means banana and toffee?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said to me the other day they didn't know that.
It was invented in Canada.
Cream. Was it? I always know these things.
Because I studied the history of it for Taste of My Life.
Did you?
I knew more about cooking for a Taste of My Life than I've ever known about cooking.
Yeah. It's a show that Mark used to make with Nigel Slater. You never know, we might make again, huh, Mark? Right, so then chocolate, if you just break it up. I always used to do this over the bain-marie, but you don't. I do it in the microwave now. Of course, you can use milk chocolate, so just bung that in the microwave. See, people will be so impressed by this, but actually you've just chucked a load of caramel on it.
Yeah, looks like a Jackson Pollock.
Yeah. In the end, that took about 2 minutes. 2.5 minutes. Jackson Pollock. Crazy, batshit crazy American artist.
Action painter. Oh, that's great.
And
It's an impressive one, isn't it, to plonk on the table,
because
isn't
you
it?
just do it so easy. You see,
Yeah.
you don't need any cooking skills for it at all. And I have made the executive decision to add nuts, even though my family will not want this.
I do like pecan nuts.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Hey.
It's called Maddie. She'll love this. Guys, banoffee. Actually, maybe we should have it after dinner. I'm doing steak and chips for dinner tonight. There you go. What do you reckon?
So we're off to the book.
Book time! And it's Nanny Die.
Nanny Die. Hey guys, it's the book of the week. I can't speak. Book of the week. It's the book of the week. It was my book of the week last week. It's the Nanny Die's book of the week this week. There she is, sitting there reading her book. Have you finished your book?
I finished it long ago. Actually.
Oh, so should we go in? Should we go in for it? Let's do it. Okay, book of the week.
Hi.
Hi. What's your name?
Shut up. This is a book, I've never read any by this author. Benjamin Myers. And this book is called Bee Stings. And he's obviously a big deal, because it says at the top, prize-winning author of the Gallows Pole, which I have heard of, but I didn't know it was him. And he seems to have won things for several things, a Northern Writers Award. Some people are calling him a punk writer, which is interesting, which might give you start to give you a flavour of what his stuff's like. Other people, the reason I got it was because it's very much about the landscape, and you've only got to really dip into it, a couple of times through it. And I was thinking landscape, I feel like a bit of landscape. We'd been to Cornwall, except we haven't. And I thought I want trees and heaths
like you,
and all
'cause
of
you
that.
hate
It
trees.
is. But I
You
thought
hate
it's
landscape,
I
you
thought
hate
it's
rural.
I thought it's a small book. I feel like a bit of landscape. It'll just fit.
Oh.
And then somebody else said online, and they said, well, he's a mixture of Thomas Hardy. Hardy, that's the English landscape, and Cormac McCarthy.
Oh my God, bleak apocalyptic
Cormac McCarthy.
visions.
And yes, and exactly, and no blood, something for
No
old men.
Country for
No
Old
Country
Men.
for Old Men.
Yeah, The Road.
Deep Southern Gothic. This is, and I've never come across one before, and I absolutely adore it for this. It's not everybody's taste, but this is Southern Gothic, but in England.
Right.
And Northern. So let's say Northern England Gothic.
Whereabouts in the north is it?
Cumbria.
Oh, okay.
Which must be full of legends, because that's where Sarah Hall sets all her stuff too.
Ah.
Anyway, it is ostensibly about, it's a simple plot. Girl, orphan, mute, picks up a baby and runs with her.
Right.
Followed by, a bit later, a priest, and with the priest, a poacher with his dog. The poacher and his dog are to track the girl.
Right.
Everybody's only ever given those names: girl, poacher, preacher. He also has quite a strange way of writing, in that he doesn't eschew punctuation completely, but he doesn't punctuate.
A lot.
No. So
is it like one great big long,
no, it's
long
not, because
sentence?
no, because that makes it sound like it's unreadable.
Right.
And the thing about this book, guys, is, I mean, let's just say this, not to give anything away. The whole book is a chase through the landscape. So in that respect, I wasn't disappointed. Through hills and woods, and from the girl's point of view, from the preacher's point of view, who we start to realise pretty quickly is a really unsavoury character.
Oh, right.
And we realise pretty quickly as well that he's done something dreadful to the girl.
Oh.
And not just the girl, but that he's been looking after an orphanage and probably done something dreadful to all of the girls.
Oh, God.
That's not belaboured, that's not laboured. But it turns out that the reason we think that the girl picked up the baby and left is that she wanted to get it out of this place.
Ah.
And she thought no more than that, anyway. And really, the whole book is about that, her running. And that sounds dreadfully boring.
Chase.
It's a chase story,
Okay.
story. And then gradually it gets darker and darker and darker. And to say there are fights and, let's not say killings, but really deep, dark things happen.
Right.
And yet I couldn't put the blowing thing down. I kept thinking, I mean, it's not a big book, but I read it in one sitting. It was so readable. And I love him.
What sort of themes is it about? Is it about alienation? Is it about...
Yeah, well, I felt, again, and I don't want to repeat my thing of my last book where I kept saying it was mythic, but it is a sort of myth, I feel. It's based on a myth. Yeah, alienation, people not having power to speak. I mean, obviously, literally, she's mute, so she doesn't have the power to speak. Turns out, in the very end, she does have the power to speak.
I was going to ask if
she
it was
has
a
the power
choice.
to scream, but yeah, but she hasn't
That
done
sounds
it.
like the poster. She doesn't have the power to speak, but she has the power to scream.
Yes, exactly. And really, I can't give you much more than that, because otherwise I'm explaining each bit of how they do me. There's the odd sort of really interesting, funny characters that she meets along the way. Like she meets this guy who seems to be living in a tent and is frightfully posh, smells foul, and has his own stories about things. Well, he meets the girl, is nice to the girl as on her way, and then the preacher and the priest arrive, who are really, really horrible people. And let's just put it this way, as they carry on, he's not alive anymore, that man that's in the thing. And they meet people like that all the way
So
through.
it's a bit like a horror story.
It is a horror story. It's a sort of,
Yeah.
but told incredibly leisurely. And I don't know how to get this over to you guys, that although dreadful things happen and have happened in the past, he focuses on the landscape. He sort of draws the fact that the woods and the landscape are all going on, and yet you know, it's
So
all
a bit
part
like
of
a
that.
bit like Jez Butterworth's Jerusalem.
Just like that, Mark.
Right.
Thank you.
And the word bee stings, presumably.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
at some point you're going to ask me what bee stings mean.
Well, I mean,
According
it makes.
to-
Go on.
According to the book, it's what happens when the first milk of lambs comes through, and it's
Oh.
what keeps the lamb. You know, the first milk when a woman gives birth is the stuff that's really nutritious. That's what he says it is in this book. I looked it up in
Dictionary.
Wikipedia afterwards, and it says it's something to do with the military. It says it's nothing like that, this word. So I think this must be a farming word or a northern word. But to put it into context, she starts to lactate
Right.
towards the end of the book.
Well, it does sound like it's that word then.
Yeah, no. In this context, it is.
So is it in the title?
Bee stings.
Is it reducing humanity to beasts?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah. Well put. Yeah.
no, just kind of grappling at that.
Yeah.
That sounds fascinating.
It is utterly fascinating, Mark.
Could make a good sort of Channel 4 film.
Yeah, and it's no sort of exaggeration to say Tom. I mean, I loved Thomas Hardy when I was, doing A levels and stuff like that, and his grasp of the landscape in few words is just astonishing. Which is why I want to read some of his others. None of them apparently are pretty. They're all about sort of the underdogs and of society fighting the mainstream. But I think for me, he's an absolute find. So I'm bringing him to you guys.
I'm having that. I want to read it.
Yeah, no,
Hey.
you will really like it.
Yeah, thanks, Mum. Thanks.
Oh, okay.
See ya.
Read it, guys.
Stay in here until 3 weeks' time. Yeah? Read your next book.
Bye.
This part of the show, just before Nanny gets in a car, is... You're still drinking this? Come on. God, this cup. At least
No, don't show me. I'm in the show.
No, I know. Nadia is in the show. She's in the show. What? Yeah.
I'm only having it. You're only allowing me a sip in between each new.
Each new piece.
Please.
Do you know what these parts of the show are called? In TV parlance.
Hold on.
In TV world.
They're called
Links.
Yay!
links. Why are they called links?
Because they link the things together.
Okay. And what's the next thing we're linking to?
The papers.
No, we've done that.
Oh, you've done the papers.
You've done the papers. What's next? After the munch brunch, we come out of that. We've done the book. We've done your book.
Oh, then it's Teddy. Teddy Talks.
Yes.
What are you looking like?
Teddy Talks.
Teddy Talks.
Teddy Talks.
He's getting brighter
Teddy
and brighter
Talks.
each week. You know, he's getting more and more bright. His clothes, green,
Bright,
yellow,
I know.
orange.
He's almost like a cartoon character, isn't he?
So here I am in Betty and Teddy's. Say hello.
Hello.
And it is time for Teddy Talks. Happy Sunday. Here we are. What are we talking about?
Well, I've been thinking about the lockdown,
Oh God.
Yeah, well,
Good.
it has some positive aspects to it. It forces you to face yourself, to ask yourself. And, of course, you have the time to consider yourself, to consider your life. How is it that you've come to this, And the thing I have noticed that life is utterly ludicrous. It's topsy-turvy. Nothing makes sense, really. I'll tell you how. I grew up in some kind of a fairly religious community. And I was, at early age, spotted as a possible priest.
Oh God.
Yeah. So I was gently being prepared for the priesthood to study theology in Rome, in the Catholic Church. I have many uncles and cousins who went down that route, So at school, where they organized some kind of a study group to prepare us for this priesthood thing. And it was run by a priest, Lebanese, from Beirut. He arrived in our village with a bit of a cloud over his head. Anyway, one day we were having the class out in the garden, and his sister, who was looking after him, living with him in the church in our village, was doing some gardening, and she bent over to cut some flowers or something, and the boy next to me nudged me and he said, "Look at that, what do you think?" I said, "She has a big bum." And I left it at that. But he went and reported it to the priest that I'd said she has a massive bum. Now, the priest, I knew that he had some trouble, and it was rumored that he'd killed somebody in Beirut.
Oh my God!
So, fearing for my life, I hopped it. I left the study group, I left the village, and I went over to my sister's house in Amman, in the capital. And I hid there for a few days. Opposite my sister's, there's a cousin who...
How old were you?
I think, about 11, 12. And this cousin was working in the capital and living opposite a school, an English school for girls. And when I told him my sorry story in the village and how I ended up here, he said, "Fear not," he said. "I'll look after you." He said, "There's a school opposite where I live, an English school for girls, but I believe they take a few boys as well." So he said, and in the school, there's a teacher, he was a crude type of fella. He said, "She's a lovely girl, and I'd do anything to get closer and have a good look at her."
Oh God!
So, I was thrown out of the last school because of a big bum. Opposite
A cousin who wants to have a look at the teacher.
Yeah. So anyway, he was, as good as his word, and he took me to this school, and we met the headmistress.
As a private school?
A private school, English school. Lovely school, lovely school. A dream of a school compared to the one I was in last. And, he saw the girl. I don't know what happened after that, but he was satisfied, very happy, and he said, "You're accepted, and I will pay the fees for the first 6 months."
Wow.
Great school. It was full of lovely kids. They were, the sons and daughters of really all the ministers, prime ministers, government officials, and I was in good company, and I, grew up with them, and I felt I was destined to be in the civil service. Somewhere in a high position. You see, but this is what I imagined would happen to me.
Now I'm hobnobbing.
Yeah, and actually, all of them in later years, they were in very high positions in Jordan. But I wasn't unhappy about the situation. A bit of a stranger, really, yearning for something I did not know what it was. And one of my English teachers said, "What do you want to do with your life?" I said, "No, I feel so hopeless. I'm no good at anything, really. I have some kind of a dream in my head." He said, "Look, we're running a drama group here. Why don't you join us and see, if you like the theatre?" I joined them. It was a lovely, innocent group, and I loved it. So when I came to the end of the school year, he said, "What do you want to do now?" I said, "Really, I'd like to study theatre in England." He said, "I was going to suggest that because I felt you had it in your heart in that." Okay, he wrote to England, and I got into college to study the theatre. So, 2 major turning points in my life. One had to do with the
big bottom girl.
Yeah, big bum. and the other one had to do with the
Boobs.
tits.
Dad, you can't say that.
What kind of a life is this?
No, but it just goes to show you can make all the plans in the world, but you just don't know the way life's going to go.
No, and you can fool yourself by thinking that you'd actually planned it, and you have nothing to do with it. Where does it come from? The Egyptians say it's written on your forehead. المكتوب على الجبين, that which is written across your forehead.
No.
But we don't know what it is, but it will happen.
We don't know what it
If you
means.
can look up and see it, you're lucky.
It's the Egyptians.
So, really, the lockdown has made me feel that life is so unpredictable.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing about life is its unpredictability.
Yeah.
Because if people could predict it and pay money to get what they want, we've had it.
The very worst and the very best things
Yeah.
are the unpredictable. The
Unpredictable,
very best
yeah.
and the very worst.
But that's what sustains life,
Yeah.
you know?
Surprises.
Yeah, topsy-turvy, you know.
I love that.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
So,
I've
just...
been topsy-turvy a few times. I tell you.
Nad, say goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
So what did you think of the show, Mum?
I haven't seen it yet. Don't be ridiculous. I haven't seen it yet.
But everyone else has.
They haven't, Mark. You haven't done it yet. Actually, he's lost the plot.
Nad. So, but what a good show, wasn't it?
It'll be very good. Yes, it always is. But I can't wait to see it when you've done it later.
You've just presented the end of it.